This is the Jennifer's Angels podcast. This time it's Angels Run, Jump, and Kick. My name is Avery Yuen, and I'm this week's co-host. Crunkle, now it's your turn.
Okay, yes, that's my cue, but I did want to mention that it's Angels Run, Jump, and Kick, Stephanie Yuen. But yes, I'm Aaron Sutliff, the Division Chief of the Protective Order Unit at the County Attorney's Office, and also this week's co-host. So, Mr. Avery, I'd like you to, if you wouldn't mind, telling listeners a little bit about yourself.
I am 10 years old. I go to Renner Elementary. I like sports, but my favorite is soccer. And yeah, I just like sports.
That's enough, right? Well, this thing about being 10, did that recently change, or what happened?
Yeah, it happened 10 days ago, I think.
Your birthday, right?
Yep.
Did you get any good stuff?
Yeah, I got a lot of new jerseys.
Wow.
Soccer jerseys.
Is that one you're wearing right now, Avery?
No, I got this one a long time ago.
Oh, I see. Well, it was a good birthday because I was there, right? And we hung out a little bit. I really had fun at your birthday. Okay. You also, I want to just mention that you forgot the most important part. You're my nephew. And also I heard you call me something. What's that all about? What you called me?
Yeah, I called you Crunkle because you're my crazy uncle.
All right. Well, I might resemble that remark. So, okay, let's get started. This is our first guest. Well, no, not our first. Our next guest. Full disclosure, I'm basically using this episode to hang out with my sister and my top 10 favorite nephew.
Wait, I'm your only nephew.
Okay, that's a good point. But Stephanie Yuen grew up here in El Paso and basically, since birth, has been moving in some way. I say this based on firsthand experience as her built-in babysitter. A Coronado graduate, go T-Birds, Stephanie played volleyball, basketball, and tennis growing up. Less tennis than I would have preferred, but that's a different topic. She went on to attend the University of New Mexico on a track scholarship, graduating with a degree in pole vaulting. Okay, I'm kidding. It was an elementary education. Mostly to outdo her older brother in degrees, Stephanie also obtained 2 Masters of Science degrees. And having worked in the teaching profession and coaching for the last 19 years, Stephanie most recently became a 7th and 8th grade ELA teacher. We'll hear more on that in a second. Other notable stuff about Stephanie: travel enthusiast, animal and nature lover, and mom and wife. So welcome, Stephanie.
Thanks for having me.
It's fun to have
things.
Yes,
couple things
okay.
first.
Yes.
I have even one more degree than the 2 that you mentioned.
Yes. Okay.
But
Thanks.
also now I'm in high school. I get to teach high schoolers now.
Okay. Well, so I was operating off of an old resume. Is that what happened?
It's probably my fault.
Well, I like having this be a family affair. Maybe it's a lot of red hair, including you, Avery, for one podcast, but I'm feeling good about it.
I think we can probably all keep it together. It'll be okay.
Yeah. Okay, so my co-host, I think, has something to ask you.
Now let's get to the interview part, Mom. I get to ask you our first question. Who are you?
So this question is really rough, and I've been struggling with it through a lot of today. So I talked to some of my kids. I talked to some of the people I work with. I talked to Avery, and all of the answers sort of just felt like not an all-encompassing, because there's, in a single word, it's hard to do that. But simply put, I'm a teacher, I'm a coach, I'm a parent, and some things that are super important to me are diversity, empathy, and finding the unity in differences, because everyone's got something in common, even if they are not the same at all. At my core, I'm trying to embody those things.
I really like that sentiment. So let's dive in just a little bit on this diversity part. What does that mean to you, and how do you live that?
So I work with ELD students, and this is something that I had been passionate about since coming from the Borderland and living in El Paso. And I clearly do not, I don't know, people can't see me right now, but I'm a redhead with freckles, and it's not what you generally think of as coming from El Paso. And so being surrounded by so much culture and so much difference than what I have and what I've been, I started to really appreciate that. And there's a whole wide array of things that I know that I don't know. And then there are all kinds of other things that I don't know that I don't know. And so learning about new things and being a learner throughout life is super important to me. And that brings the diversity of perspective and in valuing other people.
Hey, I want to hear from my co-host. Do you have any follow-up questions? Not the second one, just the one about who she is, who mom is.
No.
Oh no. Okay. I'm gonna ask another follow-up question. Maybe think of one, okay? So I read in your bio that you are an ELA teacher, or maybe that's old news. What is that?
So for about 16 years, I taught 7th and 8th grade writing in Kansas City, or in the district that I teach in right now. They split a reading class and a writing class into 2 separate classes in the middle school. And so I was taking on just the writing portion, which ended up being a way that kids could, whether they liked to or not, express the things that they had going on or the ways that they were thinking or their own perspectives. And I really enjoyed seeing the differences in the ways that they might tackle that, as well as giving them, kind of leading them in the ways that, in the words that they might use, or the ways that they could focus things so that they could express themselves better.
But now, so you work in a different capacity that I messed up on the bio, but it seems super related to that diversity conversation also.
Exactly. So now I'm teaching high schoolers, 9th through 12th grade, but they are students who are learning English. So they have either limited or maybe in some cases none at all English proficiency, and they are attending an American high school. Everything's in English. And so part of my job is to help teach them English. And then the other half of my job is to help advocate for them in the classrooms that they're normally in, and then also help them through developing study skills and just kind of learning to be a student here in the US, which is very different than being a student anywhere else. And it's a high school student is different than being a middle school student, or an elementary student for those who have had breaks in their education. And so just kind of teaching them to be a student, and then also trying to learn the content, and then also trying to learn the language. And so just trying to help them take it one step at a time.
Co-host, is it okay if I have another follow-up question? I know, or do you have one yet?
I do have one. How long have you been teaching altogether?
So this becomes a math problem that I struggle with sometimes, but altogether I've been teaching since 2007. So long time.
I'm not doing it. I'm the lawyer.
I know. I'm going to opt out, but a long time. I taught I taught probably a month and a half of 5th grade. Then I taught another 7 months and went directly into teaching 1st grade. Then I went to teaching 7th grade. Then I went to teaching 7th and 8th grade together. So 2 separate classes, but during the same day. And then I got to just teach 8th grade. And then after that, then I moved up to 9 through 12.
I think my co-host did the math. Did you figure it out? How many years?
I think it's 19 years.
19 years. Yeah, that's a little longer than you've been alive, Avery.
A little longer? 9 years.
Co-host, you want to move on to your second question?
How have you helped boys and girls develop a healthy self-image?
Answering questions about myself is always a little awkward for me in the first place. So this, again, I reached out to a kid who I taught in 7th, or I taught her in 8th grade, but she happens to go to the high school that I work at now, which is not a direct feeder pattern. And so she comes in often to kind of decompress from the days and the stresses of being a 14-year-old girl in a high school. And so I talked to her about it. It's like, hey, how does this help you? And she felt heard, is how she put it, that having the validation of the emotional that may happen, but also having that alternative perspective and saying, did you think about how would this look to yourself if tables were turned, and just sort of processing through things. So what I came away from that conversation was with building adolescents' self-image comes from empathy, sympathy, constructive conversation, alternate perspectives, listening and validating. And I think if we can make sure that they feel valued in terms of listening to what they have to say, then it goes a long way in allowing them to feel seen and valued.
So your work in the classroom, that sounds very much aligned with your work in the classroom. I also think it's aligned with your work out on the field. And so I wonder if you could go into a little bit about how you've cultivated positive self-image using your sports obsession. Just put it that way.
Okay, maybe there is a slight obsession. It's okay. I coach 2 sports currently, a pole vault coach, but then I also am a volleyball coach, and I am an assistant volleyball coach for our high school. And I work with another coach who is very passionate about making it feel like a family and making everyone feel valued in the team. And so she worked not on the whole athlete. And by default, I get to work on the whole athlete, where it's not just your athletic skill. It's also, are you feeling comfortable in the team? Are you feeling comfortable in school? Are you feeling comfortable in your skin? Is your mentality building, and are you in a kind of growth mentality, or are we getting stagnated, and do we need to kind of talk some things out? So building that self-image in terms of volleyball has been very much in working on mindset and evolution instead of destination. So finding that progress over perfection is important in volleyball. And then in track, this last week especially, I've had some specific new pole vaulters who have gotten very tied to the heights that they're going to get. And will I get this week? Will I get this week? Will I get this next week? And honestly, I don't know when you might get this height. I don't know if you ever will get this height. But what we have to focus on is doing it right before the height. And so I got to spit bars at practice and just say, right over height will get us there. And so they are trying to keep them in the process and building themselves and their skill instead of just reaching that end goal and that's the end.
Yeah, for me, it would be no height for pole vaulting. That's like...
I think you could probably clear a bar. I'm not going to lie. I think you could do it.
Co-host, have you ever tried pole vaulting?
Not really, but I've watched them do it.
You ever want to?
No.
Okay, well, I hijacked a little bit, but Avery, do you have a follow-up question about this, about how mom helps girls and boys develop a healthy self-image, either through sport or in the classroom?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, I don't have one. Well, okay, so here's one I'm going to direct at you a little bit. I'm going to ask mom about it, but so knowing that you have a young one in your actual household, how do you use those conversation points and those strategies in favor of Avery?
Well, so I've been through all the classroom training and all the things that talk about building relationships and building the trust and all of that stuff. And so with Avery specifically, working on building trust, working on listening when he has something to say, and then also sometimes doing some gentle corrections there in that maybe have you thought of this other option? But for him, he's so big into soccer that we often end up talking about, hey, how did soccer go for you? Did you meet your goal for today? Like before practice, we talk about what do you want to focus on, and building that kind of evolution mentality again with him, where the end goal is awesome, but the benefit to him as a person is more of the progression and the realization that working through it is a success.
Here's the part, Avery, where I get to turn on you, my co-host. Turn to you is what I meant to say. And I want to ask you a question. Maybe the guest will have a follow-up. But the question I want to ask you is, what challenges have you had in developing a healthy self-image? Do you know what I mean when I ask the question?
No.
Yeah. So how do you think of yourself, Avery? You think of yourself like a smart guy, a happy guy? How would you describe yourself?
Happy, smart, athletic, and chill.
Yeah. Well, sometimes do you ever question any of those assessments of yourself? Happy, or sometimes you don't feel good at sports?
Yeah. Like, if we lose, I'm like, darn it.
Yeah. And so what do you do when that happens, when you say darn it?
I'll just tell myself, keep going. We'll get the next one.
Sure.
Are there
And then,
other people that help you with that?
My coach does, and my teammates do too.
yeah, let's do shout out to Coach. Wait, I forgot his
Justin.
name.
Justin.
Huh?
Justin.
Coach Justin. Yes, our favorite. And then your teammates. Let's shout out them.
A lot.
You never knew their names? You didn't?
No, I know their names. It's just
Okay.
a lot.
Maybe one or two of them. Oh, you don't want to choose your favorite, right?
No. But the ones that have been with me the longest are either Noah or Rhett. I mean, both.
And so let's say Noah, for instance, does better on a given day than you do at soccer. How does that make you feel, and what do you do about it?
Happy for him. Just tell him, like, good job.
Well, that's a positive way of reacting, right? You're not jealous sometimes if someone does better than you at a sport?
Not really.
Bro, you're pretty competitive. Let's just be real here.
If the other team, I'd be, like, kind of mad, but...
Uh-huh. And what do you do when you feel that way?
Play?
You what? You play? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, maybe go talk to Zoe a little bit, too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, that's all.
Ellie.
Yeah, you know who Zoe and Ellie are, America, or podcast listeners are. They're two crazy dogs. One's more crazy than the other.
Yeah.
Cool. Do you have a follow-up question, guest of the co-host?
What do you think is helpful for you in turning to your teammates?
I just like company. I don't like to be alone or just play alone.
Say more about that, being an only child, after all.
What?
Say more about that, being an only child, after all.
Well, sometimes mom plays with me, but not all the time, so I have to find ways of, like, keeping myself occupied.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Were you going to say something, Stephanie?
Do you think that sometimes that helps you or hurts you when you think about your self-image? That you had to kind of be a little independent? Do you think that's helpful, or do you think makes it harder?
I wouldn't say either, because it doesn't have an effect, really. Okay. If I just, like, try to be creative once in a while.
You are pretty creative. That's a good point. You are pretty darn creative and hyper. Okay, so enough of the cross exam on Avery. Let's go to that last question, Avery. Is that okay?
And then our last question is for both of us.
Oh.
Yeah. I'll answer first and then pass it on to you, Mom. If I could wave a magic wand, how would I help all girls and boys as they grow up to participate in healthy relationships? Just be yourself and don't try to copy anybody else.
Tell me more about that. What do you mean by not copying anybody else, Avery?
If somebody's doing this thing, you don't have to do it. You get a choice whether you want to do it or not.
And how does being yourself help you in a relationship?
Like, it gives you your own opinions. So, like, you don't have to always go with what they're saying.
Makes sense. Is that for just friends, or is that for more than friends too?
More than friends.
For everybody.
Oh, right? Yeah, the like versus the likes. Okay,
the
got it.
Like.
I see. I got it. All right. Okay, guess. Don't try and get past the magic wand question.
But the magic wand question's also hard. All of these questions are hard. Yeah. Okay, so I think that my magic wand would highlight positive, healthy relationships in the world. So everyone needs an example. Everyone needs something to look up to, and not necessarily idolize, but I'm struggling with an alternate word. So right now, a lot of dysfunction is highlighted in society as a whole. And my magic wand would highlight positivity in relationships and healthy interactions.
I like that
magic. Because we're not getting rid of social media. It's going to be there.
Yeah, so that's been a big theme, is that people are really that's part of some people's magic wand is get rid of social media. And maybe not all the way to that, but like address it in a way that is impactful. So, and I've been telling everyone, I'm writing down these magic wand ideas, because how does reality become different if we don't dream it? And so definitely would I definitely appreciate y'all's two magic wand approaches. And we've been discussing, Avery, whether they're like Harry Potter magic wands where you have one for each thing, or one big one that does everything, and what spell we need to use. So do you have any suggestions? Like expectoramos, or I don't know, what are they?
Oh. No, just make up a word and see what it does.
Leviosa or something like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Avery, which wand should we use? Because how many wands do you have?
7?
She's calling you out, bro. 10?
8. I said 8 or 7.
Yeah, I'm partly to blame for this, but we don't need to discuss that. So I have to thank you, Stephanie, for coming on this podcast and supporting this project. I knew that you would really bring insight and light and fun to the episode, like you do to your whole life. It's just really fun talking with you and Avery. We are serious fans, aren't we, Avery?
Yeah. One of our top 10 favorites for sure.
Do you see what we did there?
Hey, my name is Jessica Grider, and I am a library media specialist at Park Hill High School. I have been in education for 16 years. I started my career as an English language arts teacher, and now I am a high school librarian. And my teacher hot tip is to use romance as a way to affirm our students' identities. More specifically, I run a romance book club that focuses on Black authors and other authors of color to help our diverse population at our high school really delve into their self-identity and what they do. And a little bit about me, my bachelor's degree is in English education. My master's degree is in library and information science, but I'm currently in a PhD program for literacy. And the working title of my dissertation is Reimagining High School Curricula, the Transformative Role of Romance Fiction in Affirming Black Girlhood and Identity Development. And really what I'm trying to do is use romance as a tool to help kids have a safe and also a brave space to explore what those relationships look like. So to look at things like attraction and communication and boundaries and consent, and having a place to explore those things before they do it out into the world. So romance is a really great tool just for all of these things, because romance has a happy ending. That's the biggest rule of romance. It has to have a happily ever after or happily for now. And so when students, especially teenagers, are reading romance, they know that the stakes are a lot lower, and they can explore different aspects of those relationships without having that anxiety included, thinking that things may not end well.
Anything else you want to add, Avery?
Special thanks to Jennifer Ann's group for supporting this project. Want to know more about the amazing teen dating violence prevention work that Jennifer Ann's group does? Head to jenniferann.org to find out more, and then follow them on Facebook and Instagram.